Game show on the Padres Radio Network.
Jackson swings, hits it in the air, deep to right field. He has done it again. Unbelievable.
Coming up, we'll have a recap of the previous Padres game, a preview of today's starting pitching matchup, our keys to the game. Plus, we'll hear from manager Mike Shildt.
Ultimately, what we're here to do is win.
From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
San Diego Padres baseball coming up on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network. Today, the Padres take on the Atlanta Braves in Game 3 of a season-opening 4-game series. Our starting pitching matchup tonight for the Braves, right-hander Spencer Schwellenbach, and for the Padres, right-hander Randy Vasquez. Hi, good everyone. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. First pitch coming up at 4:15 as the Padres try to stay perfect on this very young 2025 season. Coming up in the next 50 minutes, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. We hear from tonight's starting pitcher Randy Vasquez, and in just a little bit, we check in with Jesse Agler. But first, it's time to set the table. Brought to you by Fraser Farms Market. Set your table with the highest quality of natural and organic products from Fraser Farms Market, a San Diego original since 1971 with 3 locations, La Mesa Vista and Oceanside, and at FraserFarmsMarket.com. Well, a very good start for the Padres. They're 2-0. Braves come in 0-2. The Padres bullpen has been a huge part of this series. 10 consecutive scoreless innings going back to the 4th inning of opening day. Randy Vasquez makes his season debut for the Padres here tonight, a 4.87 ERA in 20 starts last season during his first year in San Diego. Another big part of the Padres' 2-0 start, their ability to win a couple of close games and find the big hit. They did that again last night.
Is what happened in the last Padres game? Let's take a look back with our Padres Rewind on the Padres Radio Network.
In the bottom half of the first inning, Fernando Tatis Jr. led off the game and wasted no time.
Fernando Tatis Jr. leads off, swings at the first pitch, and hammers a no-doubter to left field. Home run, Fernando. Padres take a 1-0 lead, 1 pitch into the bottom of the first inning. First home run of the year for Tatis, leading off for the 2nd consecutive day, and a leadoff home run.
In the bottom of the second, there were runners on base for Martin Maldonado.
Lopez ready, Hayward runs, the pitch is lined into center field and a base hit. RBI knock for Martin Maldonado, his first in a Padre uniform. Bogarts crosses the plate, and the Padres lead it 2-0.
Dylan Cease pitched 2 scoreless innings to begin the game, but then the Braves mounted a 2-out rally in the top of the third. The bases were loaded for Marcell Ozuna.
Padres have a 2-0 lead with the Braves with the bases loaded here in the 3rd inning. And Ozuna swings at the first pitch, grounds it into right field, a base hit. Cronenworth dove, couldn't get there. Profar has scored. Riley's right behind him. It's a 2-run single, and now a 2-2 game here in the 3rd.
Meanwhile, Xander Bogaerts got the lead back in the bottom half of the inning.
And a 1-1 hard hit up the middle into center field and a base hit. Merrill rounding third. He's going to score. Cronenworth heading into third. Xander to second to throw the tag. Not in time, an RBI double. And the Padres back in front. It's 3-2.
Cease was still working with a 3-2 lead as he took the mound for the top of the 5th. Jared Kelenic led off for Atlanta.
And Kelenic launches towards the right field corner and gone. First row Petco porch. A line drive home run. And Kelenic's first hit of the year is a game-tying shot, leading off here in the 5th inning.
Fast forward to the bottom of the 8th. We were still tied at 3. Jake Cronenworth led off against lefty Dylan Lee.
1-0. Cronenworth hits it high and deep to right field. Kelenic's going back. He's at the wall. Looks up. It's going to go! Jake Cronenworth with a go-ahead home run leading off in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Padres are back ahead. It's 4-3.
And in the top of the 9th inning, Robert Suarez looked to shut the door.
The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Strike three. Went back to the changeup and got him. And Suarez, a 1-2-3 ninth inning to pick up his second save in as many games to begin the season. Jake Cronenworth's homer in the eighth wins it. And the Padres 4, the Braves 3 here in Game 2 of the 2025 season.
Another very nice win for the Padres last night, and now they try to make it 3 wins in a row to begin the season here today against the Atlanta Braves. As we get ready for first pitch coming up at 4:15, let's go inside the booth.
Let's take a trip up to the Padres broadcast booth for a deep dive on today's matchup with Jesse Agler in our Padres game preview on the Padres Radio Network.
We go down the way here at Petco Park. We're joined by Padres radio voice Jesse Agler. And Jesse, it's been a very fun couple of days here at Petco Park. Very nice couple of wins for the Padres. What has been your biggest takeaway from this 2-0 start?
Oh, boy. In the best of ways, I think from an offensive standpoint, this team is just picking up where they left off. Not counting, obviously, the last 2.5 games of the season. But before that, and everything we saw, prior to all of that, the approach at the plate, the ability to do damage early, as we saw with Fernando and Cronenworth early swings yesterday in their at-bats, but then also the ability to kind of wait the situation out, be patient, and string a bunch of stuff together as they did in the seventh inning after the Sheets home run on opening day. And I think that's just so wildly encouraging because, look, I think the reality for a lot of us was, I'll speak for myself, the approach was so good last year. And there's just this sort of thing lingering in the back of my mind of like, all right, can they really do it all again? And look, Time will tell. It's only 2 days. But what we've seen in the first 2 days really does feel like they've picked off right where they left off. And that is the most positive thing I think I can say about what I've seen. And then, look, the bullpen has been immaculate. I mean, overworked, but immaculate in the first 2 games of the season as well. And against a really, really, really good lineup. Just a couple points with the Braves there, right? One, this is a team that very likely wins well over 90 games this year. And so to be able to win the game started by Sale, who won the Cy Young, and Lopez, who had a 1.99 ERA last year, is a really, really nice accomplishment. The other thing to keep in mind, and probably going to have some version of this conversation a bunch this year, especially in April as things get rolling, but like these games against the Braves, the games coming up against the Cubs here and there in the month of April. Remember what those wild card tiebreakers are now, head-to-head. And, you start filing away these games against the other good teams in the National League. Yeah, they might be in April or May, but they could be absolutely critical come September. So as many of these wins as you can stack up here, obviously, the better.
Really good points all the way around, Jesse, and I agree with you. This team, at least through 2 games, we've got a long way to go, 160 more of these, but it feels a lot like what we saw in 2024. Looking ahead to tonight's game, the pitching matchup, Randy Vasquez on the mound for San Diego, Spencer Schwellenbach on the mound for Atlanta. Jesse, let's focus on Randy Vasquez. Had a bit of a tough start to spring, then really came on in the final few weeks. Gets the opportunity to join the rotation on the opening day roster. How do you frame this season opening start tonight for Randy Vasquez against a good Atlanta lineup?
I've always really liked Randy, as there's been stuff that needs to be, improved upon, cleaned up. Yeah, of course, he's a young pitcher. That's part of it. What we saw in his last outing in spring, which was, I think, last Friday against the Cubs in Mesa, that's what you want to see. And I don't just mean 4 innings, 1 run. I mean, that'd be great, obviously, to be able to go deeper and to only give up a run or 2. But he was on the attack. And I mean, really, really on the attack. Throwing strikes, coming right after everybody, not walking people, not, kind of getting nicked to death, as was the case, I think, for him in the first couple of starts in spring training. Mike Shildt had that traffic cop line that Tony and I probably referenced 3 dozen times over the course of Cactus League play. But look, like a lot of young guys, that's when it can get, shaky for somebody, is that when you are playing traffic cop, because maybe you get away with it. And he got away with it plenty last year. Remember, Randy Vasquez got more ground ball double plays than any other Padre pitcher last season, despite the fact that he didn't make as many starts as most of the other guys in the rotation. So he can manage the traffic. He can be the traffic cop. Ideally, though, there is no traffic, or there's much less traffic. So, yeah, look, it's a huge challenge. You do wonder, and Tony and I, I'm sure we'll talk about this at some point today, how much of, him knowing, not that anybody said anything necessarily, but he just knows that the bullpen is gassed. And so what does that do to your mentality as a starting pitcher, as a young starting pitcher? in an ideal world, Randy Vasquez is out there saying, hey, I'm going to go throw my game. I'm going to worry about doing what I got to do. But he's a human being, and he knows that Michael King didn't get out of the third inning on Thursday, that Dylan Cease didn't get out of the fifth inning yesterday, and that the Padre bullpen has been really worked in the first two games, and particularly early on in the season, there's only so much you can ask of those guys out there. So, does that impact him in any way here today? But Randy, I think one of those guys a lot of times pitches better than the numbers indicate, and he ran into the Braves a couple of times last year, lost both times, faced Chris Sale both times, so that doesn't make it any easier, but it's a real challenge for him, certainly.
Jesse, good stuff all the way around. We'll talk to you and Tony coming up at 4:05 inside the booth. As always, thanks so much.
You got it, Sammy.
All right, that's Jesse Ackler joining us on our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show here on the Padres Radio Network. First pitch coming up at 4:15. Again, Randy Vasquez on the mound tonight for the Padres against a very good young right-hander, Spencer Schwellenbach, on the mound for the Atlanta Braves. When we come back, we hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt, plus a little bit later, we hear from tonight's starting pitcher Randy Vasquez, plus all our normal segments, who's hot, who's not. We take a look at headlines from around the major leagues, a look at our keys to the game, our out-of-town scoreboard, and a full breakdown of this pitching matchup here for Game 3 of this four-game series between the Padres and the Braves. We continue our pregame coverage from inside the Western Metal Building at Petco Park after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park. EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. First pitch coming up at 4:15 as the Padres continue this four-game series against the Atlanta Braves. Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres here today. Spencer Schwellenbach on the mound for the Atlanta Braves. Taking a look at the lineup here today for the Padres, looks like this. Fernando Tatis Jr. in right field leading off. Luis Arraez at first base batting second. Manny Machado at third base batting third. Jackson Merrill in center field batting cleanup. Jake Cronenworth at second base batting fifth. Xander Bogaerts at shortstop batting sixth. Gavin Sheets, the DH, batting seventh. Jason Hayward in left field batting eighth. And Martin Maldonado doing the catching and batting ninth for the Padres here today. One thing we should note, and we'll talk a little bit more about it later in our pregame coverage, Padres have had to really heavily rely on their bullpen the first two games of this season. Jason Adam, Robert Suarez, and Jeremiah Estrada all pitching in 2 straight days. So you would imagine this early in the season, pretty unlikely that those 3 guys are going to be available today. So it's going to be interesting to see the kind of length that Randy Vasquez can provide and how the Padres go about using that bullpen here today. Again, we'll have a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Much more to come later in the program. But first, let's hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
All right, Mike, Randy Vasquez on the mound tonight against the Atlanta Braves. How would you sort of sum up Randy's spring training and his opportunity here tonight?
Yeah, Randy, I thought had a good spring training, and the thing that was good about it was he was better as he went. Everything was progressively getting better. Last outing, 44 pitches, 39 strikes, has been stretched out enough to go a little deeper, but I thought he was good. And then today, listen, go out, has a lot of different pitches, get guys off balance, create some early weak contact, and give us a chance to win a ball game.
As far as the bullpen today, you do have a number of guys that have pitched back-to-back days, Suarez, Estrada, Adam. How might that affect the way you can use your pen today?
I think it can affect it.
Okay, we'll see. As far as the offense, obviously early offense in the first 2 games of this season, some big moments late. What's been your impression of kind of the offensive identity through 2 games?
Very pleased. We talk about like an offensive machine, being able to do a lot of different things. The at-bats, it starts there at home plate, but then what does it take to get back to home plate? And the at-bats have been really good, using a big part of the field. 2-strike hitting's been on point. A lot of good things in the bases. Really appreciate how the guys are getting after it and going there, aggressive with the right spot and the intelligence to back it up. And just, it's Petco Park hitting.
With Jackson Merrill, his start to the season, 4 RBIs opening day, 3 hits last night, obviously coming off a terrific rookie year. Your early impressions of what he continues to do?
He continues to, allow his ability to play based on the situation. On the many wonderful things about Jackson, he's got a real skill set. He's clearly a good player, but he's got the mentality and the intellect to match the skill set. So he looks to see, like the other day, first at bat of the year, 2 strikes on Sale, not trying to do too much. Nice little stroke through the middle of the field. Sac fly later in the game. They're pitching him where they're pitching him. He drives the ball the other way a couple of times for hits. Like the aggressiveness on the ball in the dirt. Just a really smart player that's really talented.
Did you do have to plan for everything? How seriously did you consider bringing up an arm for today?
Well, that's a lot of AJ conversation. We've got a fresh arm. Really, there's only the guy that hasn't pitched is the only guy that's really optionable. So, didn't really win a conversation.
Is it fair to say that at this point in the year, like you're going to be a little more cautious with the bullpen, knowing that guys are just kind of getting into the season?
That's very accurate. Yes, sir. We want to be smart about it coming out of spring training. Clearly, guys have been built up to go back to back, but it's a fine line between clearly competing and talked about Dylan last night. Little uncomfortable getting him to 90, 93. Wasn't going to go past 95. Pushed a little bit, knowing that the day before we had to cover a lot of our innings out of the bullpen. So it's a give and take somewhere, and putting it all together to make sure we're competing is important, but also understanding and factoring into a long season.
Martin talked a little last night about the value of hitting, like basically at the end of a lineup like this. like knowing what the other guys can do to kind of make his life easier there. Is that a thing that you see, like the effect of a deep lineup helping those guys toward the bottom?
I think so. I think absolutely. When you have a deep lineup, it makes everyone better, and it trickles down and it then trickles back over. So it trickles down because to get to the bottom of the order, you've got to go through quite the gauntlet of hitters and there's no real break to it. And then you feel like you've got a break at the bottom, and you don't. And guys are still really clear. That's one thing, whether it's Martin or, Jay Hay getting guys over the other day, or, they understand what the situation of baseball looks like, and they're veteran enough to recognize it and then talented enough to execute, for the most part. So I think it's a good observation on Maldy's part.
Today's obviously going to be like a little bit different in the bullpen, but generally speaking, like last year, I don't know if we kind of knew what the roles were. This time this year, it seems like they're semi-defined. How valuable is that to have guys kind of comfortable knowing their spots, knowing when they're going to be called upon, that kind of thing?
Yeah, no, I think it's really valuable. I mean, one thing that I say this all the time, and I'm sure I'll continue to say it about bullpens, is they're very fluid in the sense of like today, just based on availability, right? I do believe that last year that guys seized their opportunity for their roles. We had roles going into the season. We always start with some level of role, and then we allow people to solidify the role. And to your point, we've had guys that have solidified roles. But for an example, in roles like, in a perfect world, this guy gets this lane, 6th, 7th, interchangeable, Estrada, Morihone, Adam. But yesterday you saw Morihone come in the 5th and be able to finish the 5th and grab the 6th. We saw different situations for guys with Estrada on opening day relative to what the game called for. But yeah, it's important when the phone rings that guys mostly know, who it's for, and then be able to come in and get the job done like they have. So that part's important.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt before today's game inside the Padres dugout. We'll hear more from Mike on our post-game show coming up later on this evening. Sam Levitt with you here at Petco Park as we get ready for the Padres to take on the Atlanta Braves in Game 3 of this 4-game set. Let's now tell you who's hot, who's not.
Which player is locked in at the dish? Who needs to kick things up another notch? This is Who's Hot, Who's Not on the Padres Radio Network.
First, we begin with a look at the hot category, and as we always say, the first few games or so, we're looking at 2 games here, a 2-game sample size, so we say hot and not with kind of quotation marks, but who has hit the ball well in the first 2 games of this series? Fernando Tatis Jr. certainly in the hot category. 4 for 8, a home run, 3 runs scored so far this year. Jackson Merrill, 3 hits yesterday. He's 4 for 7 on the year so far with 4 RBIs. The not category, a couple of guys in the lineup here today. Jason Hayward, 0 for 5 so far in his early Padre career. Luis Arraez, 0 for 5, has not had a base hit yet, and we'll have a little bit more on Luis coming up later on. And that's a quick look at who's hot, who's not here on the Padres Radio Network. Now let's update you on the latest headlines from around the major leagues.
Let's examine the most important news and the latest information you need to know in the world of Major League Baseball. Sam Levitt takes you around the horn. Presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Get ready for Major League winning when you join Valley View Casino and Hotel's Players Club and receive over $200 in free instant offers. Visit valleyviewcasino.com to learn more today.
A look at some of the headlines today from around the majors mostly has to do with injuries, unfortunately, around the league today. The Pirates placing second baseman Nick Gonzalez on the 10-day IL with a non-displaced fracture of his left ankle. He was originally injured in spring training when he fouled the ball off that ankle. Here's the thing. He hit a 2-run home run on opening day. He hobbled around the bases, was later removed from the game, and now Nick Gonzalez will be out for a bit. Max Scherzer left after just 3 innings in his first start with the Blue Jays today. He was dealing with right lat soreness. More on that game coming up later. Joe Adell, outfielder for the Angels, left today's Angels game in Chicago with hip tightness. And Giants outfielder Gerard Encarnacion is expected to be out 8 weeks or so after having hand surgery. He was injured late in spring training. Plus, Rays outfielder Josh Lowe, he was put on the 10-day IL earlier today with an oblique injury. And that's a quick look at some of the injury news from around Major League Baseball yesterday and today. And we'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up a little bit later on. When we come back, we have our keys to the game, plus we hear from today's starting pitcher, right-hander Randy Vasquez. Much more to do on our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. This is the Padres Radio Network.
Baseball and prize picks.
Padres baseball coming up here on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you here at Petco Park as we get ready for tonight's game against the Atlanta Braves. First pitch coming up at 4:15. Right-hander Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres here today in downtown San Diego. We'll hear from Randy in just a matter of minutes. First, let's take a quick look at the injuries for both the Padres and the Braves.
Who's in? Who's out? This is the Bada Fulkerson Injury Report, presented by San Diego's Bulldog Injury Attorneys, who hope you're never in an accident. But if you are, make Bada Fulkerson the first call you make. Hit them up 24/7 at badafulkerson.com.
Nothing really consequential to update you on for the Padres. Yu Darvish beginning the year on the IL with right elbow inflammation. He continues to play catch at Petco Park, so we'll see what the next steps are for Yu Darvish. But updates for the most part have been pretty good on Yu as he continues to play catch and go through a throwing progression. Sean Reynolds, as we know, late in spring training out of a walking boot after he was dealing with a stress reaction in his right foot. He's scheduled to begin his ramp up in early April. Brian Hoeing dealt with shoulder soreness at the start of spring training. He was playing catch towards the end of spring training, and he is working his way back. Meanwhile, for the Braves, Spencer Strider expected to return in mid-April. He had Tommy John surgery last year, made a rehab start tonight, or he is making one tonight at AAA Gwinnett. Ronald Acuna Jr. for the Braves expected to return in May as he works his way back from right ACL surgery. And finally, catcher Sean Murphy was hit by a pitch and he cracked a left rib during spring training. He'll be out for this series, and back behind the plate tonight for Atlanta is Drake Baldwin. And that's a look at a quick injury update for both the Padres and the Braves. Well, as we said a little bit earlier, Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres today. Big start for Randy, his first of the year. He pitched better towards the end of spring training, earned a spot in the Padres starting rotation. Of course, 2 spots opened up when Yu Darvish went on the IL. Kyle Hart will start for the Padres on Monday, but here tonight, it'll be Randy Vasquez, who certainly had some good moments in 2024, some tougher starts as well. I caught up with Randy yesterday inside the Padres clubhouse. Sam Levitt here on the Padres radio network as we get ready for today's game. And right now I'm joined by Padres starting pitcher Randy Vasquez alongside interpreter Pedro Gutierrez. Randy, as you prepare for your start against the Atlanta Braves, how are you feeling coming out of spring training?
Randy, en lo que te preparas para esta apertura en contra de los Bravos, ¿cómo te sientes después de la pretemporada que tuviste y llegando a esta apertura?
En realidad me siento súper preparado, gracias a Dios, para el reto del día de mañana. Yo voy a seguir siendo el plan que tenemos de ataque con los bateadores y poniendo todo lo que yo he practicado en juego.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel very prepared. I just need to keep my focus and keep the plan of attack against the opposing hitters that I've been planning throughout spring training. Helped me a lot, work some stuff, and hopefully I can implement that for tomorrow.
Randy, obviously you were in a competition for a rotation spot during spring training. How would you describe how that competition went and how you were able to ultimately get this opportunity?
Bueno, sí, hice parte de una competencia por un espacio en la rotación. ¿Cómo te sentiste compitiendo con tus compañeros y sobre todo tomando en cuenta que fue el resultado positivo en donde saliste al frente con un espacio?
En realidad fue una competencia muy sana, gracias a Dios, porque cada uno estaba dando lo mejor de nosotros. Por ejemplo, Cole, que tuvo buenos juegos, buenas salidas. En realidad fueron mucho aprendizaje para cada uno de nosotros y fue una competencia bien sana.
It was overall a healthy competition. Everybody that were involved in that race for a couple of spots did their best. Stephen Kolek had a great spring training. He had sent down to the minor leagues, but we were all able to learn from each other, work with each other. Ultimately, the results were where they were. I'm just happy to have a spot.
Randy, early in spring, you maybe had a couple of tougher outings, but then really did some good things as spring went along. How do you feel like you've developed over the course of the last 6-7 weeks?
Bueno, en los primeros juegos de la pretemporada tal vez no fueron los mejores resultados, pero cómo trabajaste haciendo los planes de ajuste, de trabajo y vinieron esas mejoras que tienen ese espacio.
En realidad sí, hubieron mucho problemitas al principio del sprint training, pero uno no bajó la cabeza, siempre se siguió confiando en el proceso de que todo iba a salir bien en algún tiempo.
Well, it just, the reality was the results weren't that good in the first couple of starts, but I just kept my head up. That was the most important thing. Trust the process, trust my talent, and obviously the good results came after that.
Finally, Randy, you have the opportunity to see what's a very good Braves lineup, a couple of games in a row, start of the season. As you prepare for Atlanta, what stands out to you about that Braves lineup and what will be the keys to you having success against them?
No, te enfrentas a un equipo que ya lo habrás visto en un par de ocasiones previo a tu juego que tendrás en contra de ellos. ¿Cuáles son las claves tal vez que tendrás para enfrentarlos, para ajustarte, dominarlos y poder tener una buena salida?
En realidad, confiar siempre en el plan de ataque que me entregan, estudiar los bateadores bien y confiar en el talento que yo tengo para que mañana sea una salida buena.
Yeah, I think it just basically comes down to trust the plan, trust the process. I get to study all the opposing hitters, trying to map out what's exactly is the best game plan, and just trust from there and just try to go get the best results.
Randy, appreciate the time. Good luck in your start, and thanks so much.
Gracias.
Again, a big thank you to tonight's starting pitcher, Randy Vasquez, and interpreter Pedro Gutierrez. We'll see how Randy does against this very good Atlanta Brave lineup here today. First pitch coming up at 4:15 as we get ready for the third game of this 4-game set. Padres going for a third consecutive win. Let's take a look at today's keys to the game.
How will the Padres unlock a win today? These are the keys to the game. Presented by El Centro Motors Ford. Meet your new Ford General Manager, Greg Ryan, now at El Centro Motors Ford, your new Ford truck, Bronco, and SUV HQ. Call Greg directly at 619-944-0774.
Key number one, a powerful pen. The Padres bullpen has been absolutely outstanding in the first two games of this season. They've allowed just one run total, and that came in the fourth inning on opening day. The Padres bullpen has now thrown 10 consecutive scoreless innings. A great job maintaining a one-run deficit on Thursday and keeping last night's game tied. Now, tonight will be interesting because presumably the Padres will be without Jason Adam, Jeremiah Estrada, and Robert Suarez. They've all pitched back-to-back games to begin the season. Also consider this, Randy Vasquez threw just 45 pitches in his final start of spring training. He also didn't reach 5 complete innings in 7 of his 20 starts last season. So I bring all that up to say, how will the Padres navigate all that tonight? The fact that Randy threw only 45 pitches in his last spring training start, and also the fact that they are likely without Suarez, Estrada, and Adam. You just don't typically see relievers go 3 days in a row this early in the season. That is a big, big thing to watch and a big key for the Padres in today's game. Key number 2, El Nino in the top spot. Fernando Tatis Jr. will hit leadoff again today. He seems fixed at that spot with the way he started this season, and rightfully so. The 12th home run in the leadoff spot in his career, his 12th career leadoff home run, I should say, in yesterday's game. He's now hitting .311 with a .978 OPS in 163 games while hitting out of the leadoff spot. 50 home runs and 38 steals out of that leadoff spot in his career. Absolutely terrific. Key number 3. Keep them stranded. The Braves are just 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position so far in this series. They've left 16 on base. So even when the Braves get them on, don't let the Braves get them in. And that's a look at our keys to the game with first pitch coming up in just about 25 minutes at 4:15. Now let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We take a look at scores from around the major leagues. We had a 20-9 score in the Bronx today. Yankees 20, Brewers 9. No, it was not a football game. The Yankees set a franchise record with 9 home runs in a game. Aaron Judge had 3 of them. And the Yankees hit 3 home runs on the first 3 pitches of the game from their former teammate, Nestor Cortez. Huge, huge day. 20 runs, 9 home runs for the Yankees against the Brewers earlier. Angels beat the White Sox 1-0 in Chicago. Cardinals beat the Twins 5-1 in St. Louis earlier today. Orioles beat the Blue Jays 9-5 in Toronto. Rockies over the Rays in Tampa 2-1. Reds beat the Giants 3-2 in Cincinnati. Royals beat the Guardians in Kansas City 4-3 earlier today. Games going on right now, a couple. Phillies 11, Nationals 5 in the 8th inning in D.C., 9th inning in Miami, Pirates 3, and the Marlins 3. Everything else coming up a little bit later. Red Sox and the Rangers in Arlington in just a little bit at 4:05. Mets and the Astros in Houston at 4:15. Cubs and the Diamondbacks in Arizona at 5:10. Tigers and the Dodgers in L.A. at 6:10. Roki Sasaki will make his stateside Major League debut. Of course, he did pitch in Japan in the Tokyo series, but he will make his L.A. debut today against the Tigers. A's and the Mariners in Seattle at 6:40. Coming up a little bit later as well. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on a Saturday across the big leagues. When we come back, we'll take a full look at our pitching matchup between Randy Vasquez and Spencer Schwellenbach. Plus, we tell you what to watch for in today's game. One Padre that you wouldn't expect is hitless so far. We'll talk more about that when we come back on our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show here on the Padres Radio Network. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you as we get ready for today's game between the Padres and the Atlanta Braves. First pitch coming up at 4:15. Right-hander Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres here today against right-hander Spencer Schwellenbach on the mound for Atlanta. We'll have more on that pitching matchup coming up in just a little bit. Before we tell you what to watch for in today's game, I had a comment here on YouTube that made me laugh that I had to share, and I do want your opinion on this. You can tweet at me at SammyLev, SammyLev. Instagram DM's open as well, same handle there. You can comment on YouTube as well. A Padres diehard on YouTube saying, Sammy, you should rock a bow tie. I think it will look sharp. What do you think? Do I start rocking a bow tie? Anybody in the loft have an opinion? Bow tie? Maybe by the end of the year. We'll see. Let's tell you what to watch for in today's game.
What's the one thing Sam Levitt will be keeping his eye on in today's game? This is What to Watch For. Presented by Genesis Home Improvements, San Diego's trusted painting, roofing, and window company. Save 15% today on a new beginning for your home. Visit GenesisHomeImprovementsSD.com.
What to watch for in Game 3 of this 4-game set. Can Luis Arraez get it going today? It is so rare for Luis to have offers. That goes without saying when you've won 3 consecutive batting titles. Arraez is 0 for 5 through 2 games. But let me give you a reason not to worry. Arraez was 0 for 10 after 2 games for the Marlins last season. He then proceeded to hit .350 over the next 60-plus games. So is it really rare and almost a little shocking to see Luis not have a hit in the first 2 games of the season? It is, but it happens, and I think Luis is going to be okay. Luis back in the number 2 spot today behind Fernando Tatis Jr., who's leading off. So what to watch for here today? Can Luis Arraez get it going? I think there's a pretty good bet he gets that first hit of the season here today. Let's take a look at our pitching matchup between Randy Vasquez and Spencer Schwellenbach.
Let's take a look at who's on the bump today with our starting pitching preview on the Padres Radio Network.
On the mound for the Padres today, right-hander Randy Vasquez, 26 years old. In 2024, he was 4-7, a 4.87 ERA, 20 starts, 98 innings, 119 hits allowed, 29 walks, and 62 strikeouts. He faced the Braves twice last season. Both were pretty good. May 20th in Atlanta, 6 innings, 3 earned runs given up, 10 hits allowed. He did give up a home run to Marcell Ozuna, who's in the lineup today for Atlanta, batting cleanup and the DH. Then on July 14th in San Diego, he was really, really good. 5 innings, 2 earned runs given up, 4 hits. You know what? Against the Braves lineup, 5 innings, 2 runs. You certainly would take something like that here today. Randy really struggled against left-handed hitters last season. They hit .365 against him with a .961 OPS. So you got to watch the matchups today against lefties. Who are the lefties in the Atlanta lineup? Jurickson Profar, switch hitter leading off. Ozzie Albies, batting 5th, switch hitter. He'll bat from the left side. Michael Harris, Drake Baldwin, Jared Kelnick. We'll see if that trend continues into this season. Randy really struggling against left-handed hitters. If he can limit some of that this year, results may be different. And that's a look at Randy Vasquez. Meanwhile, right-hander Spencer Schwellenbach, the 24-year-old, on the mound for Atlanta today. Second-round pick in 2021 out of the University of Nebraska. Rookie season in 2024. He was really good. 21 starts, 3.35 ERA, 123 and 2/3 innings, 127 strikeouts in those innings, 23 walks. So the strikeout to walk ratio was tremendous. He faced the Padres in July of last season, and he was great that day. 7 innings, 1 earned run allowed on 3 hits. Last season, Schwellenbach was really good against right-handed hitters. They batted just .200 against him with a .581 OPS. Lefties were better. They hit .253 against him. He also posted a .254 ERA in his final 15 starts of the season. That was the 9th lowest ERA in the majors in that span among pitchers with at least 70 innings of work. So this is a tough test here today. Maybe a guy you're not super familiar with. He didn't pitch in the NL Wildcard Series between these two teams in October, but Schwellenbach, he was very, very good as a rookie in 2024, and now he begins his 2025 season here today. And that's a look at our starting pitching matchup. Spencer Schwellenbach for Atlanta and Randy Vasquez on the mound for San Diego. Again, the Padres starting at 2-0. A couple of good wins, one on opening day, a 4-run 7th inning, a 7-4 win. Jake Cronenworth, a solo home run go-ahead shot in the 8th inning yesterday, propelling the Padres to a 4-3 victory. We'll see if the offense can be as dynamic here today as it's been at the first 2 games of this season. As always, thank you for listening to the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Your water should be perfect. When we come back, Jesse Agler, Tony Gwynn Jr. have the full starting lineups, first pitch, and all the play-by-play. I'll talk to you on our post-game coverage after this one is over. Should be a lot of fun on what is a gorgeous Saturday afternoon here at America's finest city. Sun is shining, and we're ready to rock here at Petco Park. I'll talk to you post-game. Enjoy the game, everybody. Jesse and Tony coming up next on the Padres Radio Network.